1920s began, many immigrants were coming into America, and this actually feared the Americans because they thought that these immigrants were ruining their stability and order. And with that, the Americans formed ethnic and religious prejudices against these immigrants. So as America was getting tired of these immigrants coming in and ruining their stability and order, like I mentioned before, Woodrow Wilson and Henry Cabot Lodge created strict immigration control to basically control the immigrants coming in. The discrimination against immigrants didn't end because in 1921, President Harding invented the Emergency Quota Act, which was limiting immigration. This really affected the people migrating in from Southern Europe to Eastern Europe. In 1924, the National Origins Act made immigrant restriction a permanent policy.
During the Roaring '20s, there were many cultural innovations that played an important role in American society.
Taxis became more common.
American artists and writers were very intrigued by the idea of becoming modern. And because of this, they were modern in art, literature, and pop culture. They also moved to areas like Hollywood, Chicago, and Manhattan because they were so intrigued by the big city. European art influenced American artists to use a diverse range of artistic styles.
The Harlem Renaissance was based mainly around music, arts, literature, and theater. Some of the most influential African-American writers were Langston Hughes and Claude McKay.
Poets and writers such as Charles Sandburg, Eugene O'Neill, Ernest Hemingway, and F. Scott Fitzgerald were very popular during this time. To further explain F. Scott Fitzgerald, he wrote The Great Gatsby, which was a movie that came out a few years ago that displayed how the 1920s was.
Louis Armstrong introduced an early form of jazz that soon took off and developed into other styles of music, such as soul or blues.
So in the 1920s, there were new ideals that you had to have the perfect love life, the perfect family, and they were all influenced in magazines and like other media.
During this time, literature was very important to American society as well.
In marriage, the emotional aspect and romance and like being loving towards one another grew of importance, and it all linked to a more successful marriage. Fashion. In the 1920s, fashion took a modern turn. Women started to cut their hair short, styling them as bobs. Flapper dresses were worn by the women who would smoke cigarettes and drink liquor. The dress personified a woman's changing behavior, which was pretty cool.
American citizens desired to have more enjoyable lives. By this, sports provided entertainment and satisfaction for Americans throughout the country. Two of the most popular athletes at the time were Babe Ruth and Jack Dempsey. Furthermore, motion pictures also played an important role in American society. That's so funny! Okay, Sarah, this is gonna be a blooper. Go.
Cut. Take one.
Hello? Hello? Device? No. Literature? No, I can't. There were many cultural innovations that played an important role in American society.